Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, we're still here with the Morning Crossfire. Of course, I did promise you we'll talk about the tax reform bill currently before the National Assembly. What you need to know. Some of you have been talking about it. Some of you have been reading about it. A lot of analysis, flying left, right, and center in the country from public affairs analysts, commentators, and professionals in the field of taxation. But what exactly is the tax reform bill? What is it meant to achieve? I think someone commented during the paper review that he loves the tax reform bill, sent a message because of beer tax, beer consumption. Is it all about beer consumption and how much you pay or you get as VAT from beer? We'll look at all of that this morning as we discuss the proposed tax reform bill with the chairman of the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele. Good morning to you, sir. He joins us virtually. Good morning to you, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele.
Good morning, Kofi Bartels, and good morning to our audience.
All right. You're the man of the moment. I mean, you've been busy. Your committee has been doing a lot of work. We've been talking about reforms and hearing a lot. You have your hands full. I'm telling you, because it seems the work to be done is so much. Reform is not an easy thing. Let's get straight to the matter. Tell us about this tax reform bill, because we have what we call the Finance Act, which has been in place, I think, a bit of amendment and then signing into law under the former administration. Is this a new bill that will, render the Finance Act rather null and void? Is this something new? Or are we looking at just basically rejigging the old laws?
All right. Thank you very much. So I think a bit of a background. In 2016, 2017, I was also involved under the previous administration with some other Nigerians in developing what we call a national tax policy for Nigeria, where we try to identify what is wrong with the system. How do you ensure that you don't tax poor people, small businesses, multiplicity of taxes? So once that policy was approved, we needed to amend several laws to be able to implement the intentions of that policy. So that was what led to the Annual Finance Act, of which I was also a committee of I was a member of the committee that was working on those Annual Finance Acts. So we've amended several provisions of the law. For example, the introduction of 25 million naira threshold, under which small businesses will not pay VAT, was one of those things that was introduced. The same thing for exemption of minimum wage of 30,000 naira was also introduced as a result of that, and so on and so forth. But what we have now realized is that by amending the tax laws every year, we began to see some uncertainties. And there wasn't a lot of public engagement anymore to consult with wider stakeholder groups. And so when you create uncertainties for businesses, it becomes another problem. So what we're trying to do now is to do a comprehensive reform so that there'll be no need to amend the laws every single year. And therefore, maybe for the next 5, 6, 7